Welcome to Forbidden Files. Every sea in the world has a coastline. Every sea is bordered by land, by cliffs, beaches, ports, or frozen shores. Except one. There is a sea in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean that has no land borders whatsoever. No coastline, no shore, no country claims it, no government governs it. It is defined only by four ocean currents that circle it like invisible walls, trapping everything inside. For centuries, sailors who entered it sometimes never came back out. This is the Sargasso Sea, the only sea on Earth without land boundaries. It sits roughly 590 miles east of Florida in the western North Atlantic. On the west, the Gulf Stream. On the North Atlantic Current. On the east, the Canary Current. On the south, the North Atlantic Equatorial Current. Four of the most powerful ocean currents on the planet, circling clockwise, trapping the water inside like a lake with no shore. Oh no. And what they trap is unlike anything else in the ocean. The surface of the Sargasso Sea is covered in vast floating mats of sargassum, a brown seaweed that drifts in thick golden carpets across millions of square kilometers of open water. Not rooted to the ocean floor, not attached to any rock or reef, just floating, endlessly, in a sea with no shore to wash up on. Below the seaweed, the water is extraordinary. The Sargasso Sea has some of the clearest water on Earth. Visibility can reach 200 feet straight down, deeper than almost anywhere else in the open ocean. The water is a deep electric blue, still, warm, and in the wrong conditions, completely terrifyingly windless. And in the wrong deed, it's a territory sandwich with water technique. This is where the history of this place becomes something else entirely. For the age of sail, the era when ships moved only when the wind moved them, the Sargasso Sea was one of the most feared places on Earth. Christopher Columbus was the first European to record it. In 1492, his fleet sailed into the sargassum mats on their way to the Americas. His crew panicked. They had never seen anything like it. A carpet of weeds stretching to every horizon, in water with no wind and no current. They believed the seaweed would entangle the ships, that they would never move again. Columbus talked them out of mutiny. Barely. At the center of the Sargasso Sea sits one of the most dreaded meteorological phenomena of the age of sail, the doldrums. A zone of near-permanent high pressure where the air simply stops moving. No wind, no waves, just flat, glassy, sun-hammered water in every direction. A sailing ship caught in the doldrums could be stranded for weeks, sometimes months. The food ran out, the fresh water ran out, the sun hammered down on men who could see the ocean all around them but could not drink a drop of it. The English poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge captured it in 1798, writing of sailors dying of thirst surrounded by water. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. He was writing about this place. Historical ship logs from the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries are full of entries from captains who found themselves in the Sargasso's calm. Days without wind becoming weeks, crew members dying, provisions exhausted. Some ships were found drifting years later, their crews long dead, still trapped in the gyre, circling slowly with the current. And this is where the Sargasso earned its most enduring reputation. The graveyard of ships. Medium pause. The western edge of the Sargasso Sea overlaps with the Bermuda Triangle. This is not a coincidence. Many of the ships and aircraft that vanished in the triangle were lost in or near the Sargasso. The calm water, the disorienting stillness, the seaweed that can foul propellers and tangle rigging. The place where compasses behave strangely because of the unique magnetic conditions created by the gyre. The most famous ghost ship in history was found at the edge of this world. On December 5, 1872, the British brigantine Dei Gratia was sailing through the Atlantic near the Azores, on the northern boundary of the Sargasso, when its crew spotted something wrong. On December 5, 1872, the British brigantine Dei Gratia was sailing through the Atlantic near the Azores. On the northern, a ship called the Mary Celeste was drifting under partial sail. Her hull was intact. Her cargo, 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol, was untouched. The captain's logbook sat open on the table. Food was still in the galley. Personal belongings were neatly stored in their cabins. The sewing machine was still on the table. 10 people, the captain, his wife, their 2-year-old daughter, and 7 crew members, had simply vanished. The captain's logbook sat open on the table. The letter was simple Quellian type color naming with a colon, what I'm saying, because you don't know. The only things missing were the lifeboat and the people. There was no sign of violence, no blood, no struggle. The ship's clock had stopped. The compass was broken. The last log entry was dated 10 days before the ship was found, November 25, 1872. After that, nothing. 10 people, gone. Medium pause. The official inquiry at Gibraltar found no explanation. Investigators considered pirates, but nothing was stolen. Mutiny, but the captain was universally respected. A rogue wave, but the ship was undamaged. The most likely modern theory, supported by oceanographers and documentary makers, is that fumes from the damaged alcohol barrels built up below decks. The captain ordered everyone into the lifeboat temporarily. The line connecting the lifeboat to the ship snapped in a sudden gust, and the ship sailed away without them. 10 people in a small lifeboat in the middle of the Atlantic. Never seen again. Medium pause. The Mary Celeste itself continued drifting for years, passed between owners, considered cursed, until 1885, when her final captain deliberately wrecked her off Haiti in an insurance fraud. She refused to sink. Even in death, the ship that had drifted through the Sargasso would not go quietly. The Mary Celeste was not alone. The Sargasso and its surrounding waters have produced dozens of abandoned ships over the centuries. Vessels found drifting with their crews missing, their cargo intact, no explanation ever found. The Carroll A. Deering, a 5-masted schooner found in 1921 with food cooking on the stove, the crew's belongings untouched, and not a single person on board. The Joyita, found drifting in the Pacific in 1955 with 25 people missing and the ship's medical kit inexplicably deployed, blood-soaked bandages on the deck. Medium pause. But the Sargasso is not only a place of death. Hidden beneath its reputation as a graveyard is one of the most extraordinary ecosystems on the planet. Hatchling green sea turtles, born on beaches thousands of miles away, ride ocean currents to the Sargasso and spend the first years of their lives hidden in the seaweed mats. The Sargassum is their nursery, their camouflage, their world. Scientists call these years the lost years because for decades, nobody knew where baby sea turtles went after hatching. They went here. They went here. The European eel, one of the most mysterious creatures in the animal kingdom, is born here. Every eel in every river in Europe, every eel in every lake in Britain and Scandinavia begins its life as a transparent larva in the Sargasso Sea. They drift for 3 years across the Atlantic on ocean currents, grow into eels, swim up European rivers, live for decades in freshwater, and then, when they are ready to reproduce, swim all the way back. Thousands of miles. Back to the exact place they were born. To spawn once and die. Back to the exact place they were born. But the same currents that created this extraordinary ecosystem are now filling it with something else. The Sargasso Sea sits at the center of the North Atlantic garbage patch. The same rotating gyre that traps seaweed also traps plastic. One survey found 200,000 pieces of debris per square kilometer across hundreds of miles of open water. Plastic bags, bottle caps, fishing line, microplastics invisible to the eye but present in everything. The turtles that hid in the Sargassum now hide among the garbage. The Sargasso is also one of the fastest warming and most rapidly acidifying bodies of water on Earth. A 2026 study from the Bermuda Institute of Ocean Sciences found the sea has warmed by nearly 1 full degree Celsius since 1983 and grown more than 30% more acidic. The Sargassum mats are changing, the currents are shifting, the ecosystem built over millions of years is being altered in decades. There is no other place on Earth like this. A sea with no land, no shore, no country, no law. A place that has swallowed ships and returned nothing. A place where baby turtles hide and eels are born. A place that is simultaneously a graveyard and a nursery. A place that exists because 4 rivers of ocean water decided millions of years ago to flow in a circle. The Sargasso Sea does not care about time. It does not care about the ships it has swallowed or the mysteries it has kept. It simply circles. Slow, warm, silent, waiting for whatever the currents bring next. If this place made you feel something, drop it in the comments. We want to know. And if you want more stories like this one, the subscribe button is right there. The next file is already open.